And I want to encourage the young people to register as voters, the ones who have not registered. By the way, there are so many people who have IDs but have not registered. This is an opportunity for you to do so and participate in a proper democratic process. So don't hold the ID and lament, and yet an opportunity is coming in a few months' time for you to make a decision about the leadership you would like to see in your respective area or in the country at large. People will be throwing words and what have you, and we should not throw those words. And we should not allow ourselves to land into any ethnic game. Not at all. Those of us who saw clashes in 2007 and 8, you would never want to imagine that you want to go through that again. And for 42 days, I, Mudavadi, and President Ruto, and Sally Kosgei, and Mutula Kilonzo, and Wetangula, and Sam Ongeri, and Martha Karua, spent 42 days with Kofi Annan, with the late Benjamin, both of them are late Kofi Annan, late Mukapa, and Mrs. Gracia Machel, the wife of Nelson Mandela. 42 days talking and angling how we can bring back stability and peace and stop bloodshed in this country. Because we had seen it, we had witnessed it. 1,400 people had died. I can tell you, a lot of the people who are shouting today have no clue, and if they have a clue, they have deliberately refused to know that it is dangerous to lead people to that path. And they are speaking on platforms, preaching hate, preaching ethnicity. And I can tell you, they were nowhere near those Serena talks and the consequences that had ensued from a dangerous election. And they are here cheating our children. They are walking the streets, cheating our children that they have solutions, and sugarcoating those solutions in tribalism. Let us be united as a people. Let us not allow any of this to go. Let us not allow it to happen. Let us save our children. Let us save the lives of all Kenyans. Let us have a free and fair election. Let us not go into an election as bitter people. Let us put our manifestos on the table. Let citizens decide on the basis of manifestos. Let them make their decision whether they like Mr. X or Mr. Y. But let us not go the tribal way. Global institutions are also under threat. The United Nations is under threat. It's at its weakest. Other institutions are also going through a lot of difficulty. The African Union and others, the European Union, So the ability of the international community to coalesce together is also shaken, Vile Bishop was saying. But when the global institutions are being shaken, we may not have ultimate authority of global institutions. But as Kenyans, we have the ability to strengthen our own institutions. So we need to do what is right to make sure our judiciary is functioning, to make sure the executive is checked and accountable, to make sure Parliament is doing what it has to do, to make sure county governments are doing what they have to do, and to make sure that we are allowing people to also function and do their job. So as we go to the election, have you taken your vote? Have you registered? If you haven't, please do so. Because tunataka uongozi ambao unapitia kwa njia ya haki, ya halali, ya kikatiba. Tunataka demokrasia. Wacha kurusha mawe, chukua kura. That should be the mantra. Let us prepare ourselves for a free and fair election. The IBC is doing its job, and CIC is going to do its job. He is going to help us navigate this moment. What do we see on social media? Bitterness. Directed at who? We see words flying around, and they shall intensify as we get to the election. And if we are not careful, we can drive the country into conflict. When you are bitter, you spread disinformation. When you are bitter, you spew lies. When you are bitter, you can be dangerous. This is a moment that we need to reflect on, and the Bishop and his commission, NCIC, as they look at integrity issues, they must also look at what makes us cohesive as a society, as a people. I was looking at one of the media houses, and there was a headline that businesses suffer losses because of a blockade. You know, keeping peace. That's one headline. But the journalists in this house, maybe it could have been also written that this time round, businesses saved from destruction. Businesses saved from looting. That could have been an alternative headline, depending on who is holding the pen. So we have to weigh and balance our words, our comments very, very carefully. What is the economic value of peace? I have not asked you to tell me the economic value of a road. I'm not asking you to tell me the economic value of an airport. I'm not asking you to tell me the economic value of a port, a seaport. I'm asking you to tell me and to reflect on the economic value of peace. Economic value of peace. We have all these things, but let us face reality. The most beautiful airports became ghost airports. The most busy seaways for free navigation are impassable. 20% of the world's economy goes through that Hormuz port strait. There are about 7 straits globally, or passages that are very important. We have now been told of that one. There's the other one on the opposite side with a long name, Mandel or something. Then you have the Strait of Gibraltar, you have the Suez Canal, you have the Panama Canal, and you have a few others also on the Asian side. These are very critical maritime routes globally. So we are suffering the effects of one. If war was to prevail, what would happen to the world? So, what is the economic value of peace? Reflect deeply on that. Your children can go to school because of peace. Your businesses will open because we are keeping peace. Our sick will be able to go to a hospital because of peace. Just blow it up and imagine in a state of chaos, where do we lie? The United Nations is also going to be voting for a new Secretary General. So there's turmoil in the international community. Guterres is finishing. There's going to be an election. Ladies and gentlemen, who will be the voters? Nations. They'll be determining who is going to be the next Secretary General. Should these nations determine the next Secretary General from the prism or the window of bitterness? Or how should we operate? How should Africa view or hope that the next Secretary General of the United Nations is going to look at Africa and to look at Kenya? What attributes, what should be his focus? That is a debate that we should be having. Equally, as we go into the election of 2027, those are the questions we must ask ourselves. You want to vote, you are voting from the president to the MCA. What are you looking for? Are you going to look for bitterness? Is it revenge? Is it good governance? Is it tribe? Is it a name? Is it gender? Is it youth? What are you really looking for? When you have that ballot, that voter's card, what will you be looking for? And how will you be canvassing for what you want to achieve? Ni matusi ama ni nini? Is it through social media or is it through proper persuasion? We are seeing a crisis in the Middle East that has had more impact than any other crisis that we have ever had before. Even as we speak today, as we thought that maybe they have signed something and we'll have peace, missiles are flying again. So, to the Kenyans who are listening to me, the truth of the matter is this. We are not yet out of trouble. We are not yet out of the woods. And we all know the multiplier effect of the crisis in the Middle East is going to live with us for a little longer than we imagine. I'm also an economist, so I owe it to Kenyans for you to know that the impact of the Middle East crisis is going to live with us for much longer than we imagine. It does not mean if the war stops today that automatically everything is going to go back to normal. It is not going to happen. The pressure of the war, the impact has already filtered into the economies globally, and it is going to manifest itself in inflationary pressure. Bei za bidhaa mbalimbali zitakuwa zikipanda kwa sababu shida hiyo haitaenda mara moja. Itakuwa na sisi kwa muda. This is the truth. And the truth shall set you free. If I stood here as a politician, because I am, and I want to be applauded, I will stand here and I will tell you, kesho nitashusha bei ya petroli kutoka kwa shilingi 100 na kitu, itakuwa shilingi 50. Mtanipigia makofi, but I'll be lying. Nitakuwa na muhadaa. Mchana, jua ikiwaka, nitakuwa na wahadaa kuambia kwamba nitapanda pale, nipate nafasi hiyo, na mara moja nitageuza hali ya uchumi na nitashusha bei ya bidhaa katika taifa letu la Kenya mara moja. Ni vizuri nieleze haya. Na hii si siasa. Huu ni ukweli. Betrayal is external. Bitterness is internal. Betrayal is something that others do to you. Bitterness is something you do to yourself. Bitterness is something you do to yourself. Thousands survive betrayal easily. No bishops know this. Politicians know this. Many of you know that. Disloyalty is a product of an unthankful heart. Betrayal is usually the child of jealousy. Everybody has experienced these tragic situations in their life: an unfaithful mate, an employee who slanders you behind your back, a boss who fires you without explanation, These things hurt deeply. And Jesus, at supper with his disciples, and as they sat and did eat, Jesus said, "Verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me." That is Mark 14-18. When Jesus saw Judas was the one who would betray him, he also saw something more important than the hurt and wounds of betrayal: the redemption of mankind. If you read Mark 14:43-50, you will realize and see one of the most demoralizing experiences any human can experience. In a nutshell, it talks of how Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss. With a kiss. But Jesus refused to be bitter. Let me quote. In fact, I'll literally read or quote extensively on this one, because it's so pertinent to where the country is, to the discourse we see in the country, and indeed what is happening in the world. And the title of this short message is this: Jesus refused to be bitter when others were disloyal or betrayed him. And there's the verse, 1 Peter 3:8-9. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contrariwise, blessing, knowing that you are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing. Bitterness. This is the word. Bitterness is more devastating than betrayal. Bitterness is more devastating than betrayal. And as I talk to this, ask yourself, are you a bitter individual? And if our population is 55 million or 56 million, and each of us are bitter, then do we have a bitter nation? Do you have a nation living in bitterness? Don't start by pointing the finger. Start by looking inward. Are you bitter? And what is making you bitter? And if you are bitter, how are you venting your bitterness? Is it at the right target, or is it displaced bitterness? What they sometimes call the displaced anger syndrome. You are annoyed with so-and-so, but you're venting your anger that side. Literally, we are entering the phase of election. The IEBC gave the timetable a few days ago. The countdown has started. So the roads, the vehicles are all leading to that electoral season. And it comes with a lot of challenges. He will earn friends that he didn't have. He is also going to earn enemies that he never had. In this undertaking, he will need the full weight of his congregation and above all, the guidance of God. I am confident that we shall have a free and fair election. And I would like, when I was talking about the need for voter registration, is because we should also strive to have a petition-free presidential election. Petition-free. If you will follow, you will find that every other year, I think the last election that was petition-free was the one of Kibaki in 2002. In 2007 and 2008, there was an election, maybe no petition per se, but there was chaos. After that, 2013-14 election, a petition. 2017 election, presidential election, a petition. 2022 presidential election, a petition. Whereas it's your right, and it's our right to petition if we so wish in the event that we feel aggrieved. But petitions can also be divisive to a nation. So it is a moment for us to register so that Kenya can move forward this time in 2027 in a free and fair election that is petition free. Finally, it's not politics, as I said, but let me leave no room for doubt from where I sit. You will have your vote. I will have mine. I will tell you for free. I will give mine to President Ruto. But you shall have a right to also give yours to whom you so wish at the time when the IBC will have shown who are the actual candidates.